Hello there, it's Patricia from Pinky's World, and this week we're making some wee covers for these cute wee ladybirds. I buy them every year and I like to try and do something different every year, so this is what I've come up with this year. And what we're using is Hello Ladybug, just the stamp set itself. We're just using this wee one. We're using Poppy Parade to colour it in. You can stamp it, there's a stamp there to do that. I just thought it'd be quicker on video to colour it in. So I've Poppy Parade ink as well for a wee bit of stamping of the flowers inside, and Memento. These are the three things you're going to need. So you cut your paper, your piece of card, first at 5.5 by 1.5 inches. Then you need 4 pieces of your chosen paper. 4 wee squares, they measure 1/3 by 1/3, and then you need 2 wee tiny pieces at 3/8 by 1 3/8. So very simple. The closure is just a wee slit in the paper. Not the most elegant of things. It's as good as I can get it. I cannot find my pliers to break off a piece of my cutter, so I'm using a kind of a blunt one. I advise you to get a good sharp one if you're doing it. So the ladybug is on the outside. On the back we have a wee sentiment from the same set. It slides open, and then inside I put stamped flowers here to kind of cover the roughness of that. Stuck the ladybird here and stamped there. So it's really simple. We're just making a wee toggle, and you just hope that it slides in nicely. Oh, there we go. Nice. So we're going to start making these. What we need first, of course, is our piece of card, and we're going to do a bit of score. So lay it on long side, facing you, and we're going to start at 1.5, 2 inches, 3.5, and 4 inches. And then you want to just spin it round to the top. Get yourself a piece of card. If you have measurements down both sides, I'm lucky enough to have this, but we're lining this piece of card up at the 1/2 inch on this side. So 1/2 inch down onto your piece of card. Go into the 1/2 inch measurement there and just score down to your black card, and go over to the 1 inch and again score. That's all you need that for. Turn it round now, and the markings that you made are here. So you want to go in and score down to 1/2 inch and meet up with the first line, and then go down to the other line and score down 1/2 inch, which gives you that wee T shape, which you're going to cut out, but not yet. So we're going to score up our pieces, our wee lines, so just to all fold into each other. There's nothing, no rocket science involved here. These wee things are so small, it's hard to actually make a decent thing unless you're going to put a couple of them in it. But I want to get these quickly made. I'm giving them to the boys for another wee Valentine treat, so I wanted to get them done. So what we need to do now is put our nice paper on. And I'm going with the gingham side. This is from the Glorious Ginghams, and it's the Tahitian Tide or Lemon Lime Twist, one of the might be Lemon Lime Twist in that. So that's what we're going with. We're going to stick those 4 here, 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 and then flip it over and one in the very centre. So we'll do that now. So I've stuck those in place. I'm going to stick the wee tiny ones in now, in the in-between parts. It just gives it a nice wee finish. I did attempt to do one without putting designer paper on the front of it, and I didn't like it, so changed it up. So that's us well covered, and remember you've stuck that over the lines that you emboss, but you can see them at the other side. And what we want to do is make sure that everything is dry. So while we're waiting on that, we could do a bit of stamping. I'm just double checking I've got it facing the right way for to do our stamping. On this one we're going in with May Your Greatest Wish Come True, and we're just doing it in the Memento. And that'll get one bit of stamping out of the way. Just make sure that you have your wee bit like this at the top. So we can put that one out of the way. The other one is down here, which is going to be Hello. We're going to spin this round So it looks the same as this. And we'll just ink up our hello. Oh, sugar me timbers, I'm all covered in ink now. Ugh. Messy. So, try again. We're just putting the little hello. Now we need to keep it down low on this because we're putting that wee slit in there. So just line it up with the very bottom of your paper in the centre. And it shouldn't be in the way. So on the inside we have It's a Good Day, which is this one. I'm dipping my fingers in again. I see these cheaper blocks. They just make a mess of you all the time. Be careful of them. Buy a good thick block. Better still, order yourself a kit and you'll get one free in your kit. One of the Stampin' Up kits. And then you'll always have it. Right, so where are we now? Where's our top? So we want to stamp our It's a Good Day at the top here. Oops, don't do it upside down. I never get these straight here, don't. Not too bad. So we can put that one out of the way. The less things I have around me, the better for me. So we don't want to do anything else at this stage until we start cutting out our thing. And you want to make sure that your paper's dried. It's not able to shift. Mine seems okay. So turn over to your score marks. We're going to cut along this one, here, and here. So we'll take those off and you end up with a nice T shape there at the top. So I'm just using that embossing line, keeping it to the left of my scissors. And still to the left, yep. Use it to keep you straight just. And that gives you that nice wee shape. And it's still covered in paper, which keeps it a wee bit cleaner looking. So now we need to do our bit that, fold this one down, keep the ½ inch there flat, fold the front one down where it says hello, keep it nice and flat, and then fold this one down the full way so that it lines up at the bottom here. And you just get yourself a pencil and mark those two corners, one there and one there, and that gives you your cut line. So get yourself, as I said, a nice sharp blade. Mine is not sharp, and I tried to break it with scissors and whatever, but it's not having it. I'll make sure it's locked, help it a wee bit. So I'm going to cut from here to here. And it really is as blunt as beyond. I can feel it having to work extremely hard. Now this may be thick enough, it may not. I keep this nail file just for my crafting. It's a good metal one and it's good for sliding in. But I think this one actually wants to be cut another bit. So it does make kind of a mess, but there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm cutting the same line length just above it. And I'm trying to cut out those two wee side panels. As I say, this is not sharp. So push those through if you can. And it's coming through the other side, not particularly coming off from it, so I'm going to cut from this side. And you just need to fart around till you get that the way you want it. And if it's looking a bit rough, give it a smooth out on both sides. Run your slim bone folder if you have one. If not, use your pokey tool or something that'll give it a nice wee finish. You can also sand it down a wee bit if there's any bits that are just too bulky for you. You don't like the look of, give them a wee sand. And it'll take these scraps off for you. And then just double check that it all goes together. You do need to raise that up on the front so that the paper plays ball with you. So that should go in okay. So what else do we need to do now? We're going to stick our wee, what do you call them in? Our ladybird. And I'm using a piece of, or a dot, a big large dot of sticky dots. And just sticking it to the center and rubbing my finger along. I don't want to get the other one in place, but if you make sure you've rubbed it right to the edge, it should just peel off nicely and give you that nice wee sticky dot there. Oh, here I haven't done all my stamping. I forgot to stamp the bottom. Don't stick it yet, whatever you do. Flatten that out again nicely. Get your flowery stamp. Not that it's overly special, this stamp, but it does help to cover the badness of this. It takes your eye away from it. So I want it to sit. Now it does poke up because you've pushed the other way, so bend it back the other way so that you can set this down nice and flat. And just cover that hole with your stamp. We're lucky we hadn't done that. Right, okay, so it does make that fractionally better looking and allows you to get away with it. Now you want to stick in your wee ladybug, your chocolate one. Push it down to the center and she should stay there and behave herself. We'll get these out of the way. So this should go. Remember, if you do need to, just give it another wee scoop up. You just need to keep rubbing it so that the paper fibres give in and say, okay, you want to go that way. You can bend this slightly but not crease it. And it should just slide in there and lock it up. So now we need to, we can close you up now. We've finished with it. We want to cover that rough edge on the front with your wee ladybug, and I have her stamped out. I've cut around it very carefully. It takes a wee bit of time to cut, especially around the antenna, but it's worth taking that wee minute to do it, and it is only a minute, like it's not ages. And I'm just going to cover it. If you want, use your stamp and stamp on top. I'm never very good at getting it in the right position, so I decided I would just cover it. Just work your way around the edges so that you're leaning in towards your ladybug so that you're less inclined to go over the edge. And just keep your pen straight when you're going into those narrower corners. And I'm using the bullet end of the tool so that it gives me a wee bit more control. And then just fill in the red. These would be nice around Easter time too. Maybe make something similar with a wee chocolate rabbit or something. So that is it done. We want to use a long, narrow piece of this. And because we want those legs to cover that opening, sort of give yourself a rough guess of where you would need to stick that. I'm just going to raise that wee ladybug up. Now, just make sure everything's lined up. Cover this part with your legs. And just stick in place. And that's it, all finished. 4 ladybugs for the grandkids. So that wasn't too bad at all. Sure it wasn't. The hardest part I found was cutting it. But if you have a much sharper blade than I have, you'll have no bother. So thanks for watching now, and I'll catch us all again next week. Bye.